to learn about fractions and that too equivalent fractions. So let's see how to find equivalent fractions of a fraction. So let's take one example, 2 upon 3. So in order to find equivalent fraction, there are two ways. The first way is to multiply. So multiply the numerator as well as the denominator with the same number. This is the first method. And the second method is to divide. Divide the numerator and the denominator with the same number. So let's take the example of 2 by 3. So I'll just write down 2 upon 3. So in order to find the equivalent fractions, you have to multiply the numerator and the denominator with the same number. Any number you can take apart from number 1. So you can take number 2. So 2 into 2 is 4 and 3 into 2 is 6. So 4 by 6 is the first equivalent fraction of 2 by 3. If I want one more equivalent fraction, I can take any number, that is 3. But make sure that you multiply the same number to the numerator and the denominator. So here it will become 6 upon 9. So let's take another example, 5. 3 into 5. So it will be 10 upon 15. So let's take the same fraction. Let's multiply by 10 and upon 10. 20 by 30. So you can find as many equivalent fractions as you want, like 2 by 3. Take the simple numbers like 10, 100. So make sure that you multiply the same number to the numerator as well as the denominator. So it will be 200 upon 300. So 2, let's do into 6. 3 into 6. You can select any number, okay? It's not necessary to 1 to any number. So 12 upon 18. So 4 by 6, 6 by 9, 10 by 15, 20 by 30, 200 by 300, 12 by 18 are all equivalent fractions of 2 by 3. Why? Because if you reduce all these fractions, okay, 4 by 6, the simplest form will be again 2 by 3. Let's take one more example and find the equivalent fractions. So let's find 3 equivalent fractions of the number 3 by 4. So let's multiply by 2, a simple number. Always take simple number. This will be 6 upon 8. So into 5, 4 into 5, that is 15 upon 20. So 3 into 10 upon 4 into 10, that is 30 upon 40. You can take 100, 1000, 10,000. Whichever number you feel is easy or simple, or you can do it quickly, do that. Don't take complex number to get your equivalent fraction. So 3 into, let's do 3. So 4 into 3, you cannot change the numbers, okay? Like you have to use the same number. I cannot use 4 into 4. I have to use the same number to multiply the numerator as well as the denominator. So answer is 9 by 12. So let's find one more. I'll just take one more example. Now I can use a different method also to find the equivalent fraction. For example, if the question is find the equivalent fraction of 50 upon, let's say, 40. This is the question. We need to find two equivalent fractions. So there are two methods, okay? Whenever you get a bigger number, you can use the division method also to find the equivalent fraction. How? You can divide this number. So you have to take such a number which will divide both your 50 and 40. So I can take the number 2. So your answer will be 25 upon 20. I can take the same fraction. I can divide by 5. Divide by 5. So I'll get 10 upon 8. I can take the same example. I can divide by 10. I can divide by 10. So I'll get 5 upon 4. So you can get the answer by dividing also. But if I want to find two equivalent fractions, I can multiply also. For example, 50 upon 40 is the given question. I'll multiply by 2. Multiply by 2. So I'll get 100 upon 80. So 100 upon 80 is also an equivalent fraction of 50 upon 40. 25 upon 20 is also equivalent fraction of 50 upon 40. I can simply multiply by 10 and I'll get my answer as 500 upon 400. Or I can do into 3. This is 40 into 3. So that's 150 upon 120. So on. So I can use division method only if the numbers are big, like 40, 50. Okay, I cannot use them if the numbers are small. It will make the calculation difficult. So your multiplication method will always work, but your division method depends on the number. If you have a bigger numbers, like example, if I give like big numbers like 120 upon 70, then you can divide by 2 also. You can divide this number by 10 also, but multiplication will always work. For example, 120 into 2, 70 into 2, whatever answer you get, okay, you will get your answer. So 120 into 3 you can do, 70 into 3 you can do, then 120 upon 70 you can do into 10 into 10, so you'll get your answer. So multiplication will always work, but division works when you have bigger numbers. For example, if I have like small numbers 5 and 3, don't try to divide it, you'll get a different answer. That won't be a fraction, then you'll get in point or something. So always try to multiply in this case where the numbers or the fraction is small. Let's move on to the next topic. So I hope you have understood how to find equivalent fractions. So there are two methods, division and multiplication. Multiplication always works. Now how to check whether two fractions are equivalent or no? So there is one simple method. I'll give you example. That is, let's take two fractions. That is, first fraction is 4 by 5. The second fraction is 24 by 30. So now there is a simple method to check whether these two fractions are equivalent or no. So one way is, so there are two methods. The first method is the cross multiplication, and the second is you reduce it to the lowest term. So let's understand the cross multiplication method first. Now these are the two fractions, 4 by 5 and 24 by 30. So you just cross multiply, that is 4 into 30, you write it below the first fraction, then 5 into 24, whatever is your answer, that's 4 into 30 is 120, 5 into 24 is again 120. Now you're getting the same answer on both the sides. Whenever you get same answer on both the sides, that means they are equivalent. But if you get different answers, for example, on left hand side you get 120, on the right hand side you get 130, then they are not equivalent. So you can write them like this: 5 by 4 is equivalent, that means they're equal to 24 by 30. This is method number 1, that is cross multiplication method. So I'll solve one more question, you'll understand better. So the example is 9 upon 16 and 3 upon 4. This is a question we need to check whether they are equivalent or no. So just multiply this 9 into 4, you write it over here, and 16 into 3. Let's find what is 9 into 4 is 36. Okay, what is 16 times 3? It is 48. 16 3s is 48. Both of them are not equal. Okay, both of them are not equal. Therefore 9 by 16 is not equivalent to 3 by 4. Because see, over the answer over here is 36 and on this side this is 48. So they are not equal, that means they are not equivalent fractions of each other. Let's solve one more question with cross multiplication method. Let's take 7 upon 11 and 21 upon 32. Let's multiply 7 into 32. So let's multiply that. So I'll first write over here 7 into 32. Let's multiply that. So 4, 1, 21, 22. So 224 is the answer that I'm getting on left hand side. If I multiply 11 into 21, so I should get 231 as the answer. Both the answers are different. That's why 7 upon 11 is not equal to 21. Sorry, it's 21 upon 32. Now the second method, how to find whether fractions are equivalent or no, that is by reducing it. So this is the second method to find whether they are equivalent or no, that is to reduce it. Reduce it to its lowest term. So let me give an example how to do it. Let's take the first example, that is 4 by 5 and 24 by 30. Reduce it to the lowest term means you cannot divide anything further. Let's take the first fraction, that is 4 by 5. Is there any number which can divide both the numbers 4 as well as 5? there is no number which can divide 4 and 5. The HCF of 4 and 5 is 1. 1 is the only number which is common in both of them. So this is already in the lowest term. So 4 by 5 is already in the lowest term. Let's reduce this 24 by 30. Can we reduce this number? Can we divide this two numbers by such a number, like any number which can divide both of them? So let's try. So 24 and 30. So if you see the HCF of 24 and 30 is 6. So you divide both of them with 6, so you get 6 fours are and 5s are. If you notice, the first fraction is 4 by 5 in its lowest term. The second fraction, after reducing it, you get 4 by 5. Because both of them are same, or they are equivalent, okay, because it's the same fraction, they are known as equivalent fractions. So you write down not 2 by 5, it's 4 by 5 is equal to 24 by 30. The reason is the lowest term is the same, that is 4 by 5. Let's solve one more example by using the same method, that is reduction method. So you reduce it to the lowest term. Let's take the example 9 by 16 and 3 by 4. Is there any number which can divide 9 and 16? Can I reduce it? There is no number which can divide 9 by 16. This is the lowest term, and 3 by 4 itself is the lowest term. There is nothing that can be done to reduce it. So they are not equivalent. So 9 by 16 is not equivalent to 3 by 4. Let's take one more example and find whether they are equivalent or no. Let's take 8 upon 21 and 14 upon 21. Okay, this is not 21, this is 12. 8 upon 12. Let's take this example. Are they equivalent? So let's find out. So let's reduce the first fraction, that is 8 upon 12. Is there any number which can divide 8 and 12? Yes, there is 4. The HCF of 8 and 12 is 4. So let's divide it with 4. So when you divide, you will get the answer as 2 upon 3. This is the lowest term. I cannot go beyond this. This is the simplest form. Okay. Is there any number which can divide 14 and 21? And what is the HCF of 14 and 21? It is 7. So you always divide by HCF. Okay. So if you divide this, you will get the answer as 2 by 3. If you notice, both the answers are same. That means they are equivalent. So 8 upon 12 is equal to 14 upon 21. Let's verify this using cross multiplication method. So let's do that. So it is 8 upon 12, 14 upon 21. So the cross multiplication method is 8 into 21. So you will get 168. Now if you multiply this, so see, 14 into 10 is 140, and 140 plus 28 is 168. So you will again get 168. That means they are equal, or they are equivalent. So there were two methods to find whether a given fraction or given pair of fractions are equivalent or no. That is, either you do a cross multiply and check whether they are equivalent, or you reduce it to its lowest term. Let's move on to the next thing. How to find an unknown number when fractions are equivalent. So now let's take an example and find out. Okay, so your fraction is 4 by 9. This fraction is equivalent to one more fraction, but we don't know the numerator of that fraction. Now again, to solve this question, there are two ways. The first way is by looking at the fraction. So if you notice, 9 into what gives you a number 63? It is into 7. Similarly, 4 into 7 will give you your answer, that is 28. Why did I do this? Because see, if their fractions are equivalent, you have to multiply the same number to the numerator and denominator. Okay, this is the first method, that is by looking at the fractions. Okay, now let's take another example. 3 upon 4 is equal to 18 upon a blank. We don't know what is the denominator over here. So now I can see from 3 the number has increased to 18. So it is multiplication by 6. Same number has to be multiplied to the denominator. So the answer is 4 into 6, that is 24. Now let's take one more example. If I write down 2 upon 4 is equal to a blank upon 36. If you notice over here, 4 into 9 gives you 36. Similarly, 2 into 9 will give you 18. This is how you find the unknown number or the blank. Okay, this is the first method, that is by looking at the question. You see whether you have to multiply, you have to divide. Let me give an example where you do division and get your answer. So for example, if your question is 12 and this is 36 equal to, there's a blank, and over here there is 3. From 36 I've gone to 3, so it is divided by 12. Similarly, 12 divided by 12 you have to do, so your answer will be 1. So you either have to divide or you multiply, you get your answer. So let's find out the second way or the second method to find the unknown number. So let's take the same example, that is 4 by 9 is equal to a blank upon 63. This is the cross multiplication method. Because they're equivalent, their product has to be same, right? So that's what we studied earlier. So let's do that. So 4 into 63 will be equal to, I don't know this, so I'll assume it as x. It is 9 into x. Now I want to find x, so I'll take this 9 on the other side. So it's 4 into 63 upon 9 is equal to x. 9 ones are 9 sevens are. What is remaining is 4 into 7. 4 into 7 is 28. That's your answer. But according to the first method, I will just look at the denominator, because two numbers are present in denominator. 9 times 7 gives you 63. That's why 4 times 7 gives you 63. Any method you can use, you can get the same answer. Okay, let's solve one more question. Let's take 3 upon 4 is equal to 18 upon blank. Okay, now use cross multiplication. This is x, so 3 into x is equal to 4 into 18. I want to find x, so I'll take this 3 on that side. When it goes that side, it will become division. So 4 into 18 upon 3. 3 ones are 3 six are. What is remaining is 4 into 6, that is equal to 24. If you want to solve using the first method, that you can do it. So 3 into 6, similarly 4 into 6, so answer is 24. Any method you solve, you will get the number that is in the blank space. Now how to reduce a fraction to its lowest term? There are many ways. Like the first way is, the best way is to take the HCF. You take the HCF either using the prime factorization method, the long division. I would prefer long division because it is simple and it is quick. So what do you mean by reducing it or reducing a fraction? For example, if I give you 12 upon 36, I want to reduce it. Reduce it means you have to convert it to such a fraction where you cannot divide it. Like there should not be any number which can divide both the numbers, and the HCF has to be 1. Okay, so now how to solve, or how to get the lowest term? The other word for lowest term is simplest form or the reduced form. So you need to take the HCF of 12. Okay, you need to take the HCF of 12 and 36. For those who don't know how to find HCF, there are videos, okay, my videos in which you can find the HCF. There are many methods I have explained: long division, listing method, common division, then prime factorization. But the best one I feel is the long division method. What you do is, smaller number becomes your divisor, bigger number is your dividend. 12 3 is 36. As soon as you get 0, whatever is the divisor is your HCF. So HCF is 12. So whatever HCF you get, you divide both the numbers with your HCF. That is your answer. 12 divided by 12 is 1, and 36 divided by 12 is 3. So the answer is 1 by 3. So the simplest form of 12 upon 36 is 1 by 3. You can use other methods also, like dividing by 2, okay, or dividing by 4. You will still get the answer, but it will be multi-step answer. Let's take one more example, that is 72 upon 90. I want to find the simplest form, so I'll take the HCF of 72 and 90. The best way is long division. Okay, so this is 90, 1s is 72, you do subtraction, you will get 18 and 72. If you notice, 4s is 72, you subtract. As soon as you get 0, whatever is the divisor is your HCF. So HCF over here is 18. So you divide by 18, you divide by 18. So the answer over here is 72 divided by 18 is 4 by 5 is your answer. Let's take one more example, a simple example. 50 upon 75. If this is your question, first thing is the HCF. You need to find the HCF. Okay, so the HCF, let's find the HCF. 25 is the HCF, but I'll show you how to find it. Using a long division, you just take the smaller number as a divisor, bigger number as dividend. 51 is 50. You subtract, you will get 25. You continue the division. Remainder becomes your next divisor. The previous divisor becomes your dividend. So 2 is 50. You subtract. As soon as you get 0, whatever is your divisor is your HCF. So HCF over here is 25. So you just divide this number, both the numbers, the numerator as well as the denominator, with your HCF. So answer is 2 upon 3. It's a simple way to find the lowest term. See, there is nothing that I can do further, like 2 by 3. There's no number which can divide 2 by 3. There's one that is common. Okay, this is known as the lowest term or the simplest form. Just take the HCF, divide the numerator as well as the denominator. Now few questions for practice questions. You need to find two equivalent fractions of 5 by 7. You can use multiplication method over here. Then the second question is reduce the fraction to its lowest form. So it's 49 upon 21. Take the HCF of 49 and 21 and find out the answer. Put the answer in the comment section and please like, share and subscribe.